So I didn't grow up with a father, and that shaped everything about the man I became until I decided that it wouldn't shape the father I became. So let's talk about it. So growing up, I didn't have a father in my life, or parents rather. Like my mom died when me and my brothers, well, I have a twin brother, and my mom died when I was 5, and my younger brother was 4, and um, she died, and then we moved in with my grandparents, and then from that point on, a couple years go by, and then we get a phone call saying that my dad passed away. So after my mom died, my dad wasn't really in our life at all. And I don't remember anything up until that point, really, because I was so young. But all I can tell you is growing up without a father in your life, like, it's so different, and it's so hard. Um, and we got taken in by my grandparents, and they did the best they could with us. And my aunt was living there too, and she was um, very strong in her faith, so she passed that along to us. But one thing that was missing in our lives was that father in our life. We had a grandpa, and he did his best as he could playing that father figure, but it's still not the same as growing up with your dad in the house. And if any of you are single, like a single parent household, and your dad's not involved, like, you will know how hard it is. Like, you can understand. And for me and my brothers, that's how it was for us. And that the presence of him not being there, like, was truly hard. It was hard on each of us. I know for me, like, there's times where I remember being in school, and like, we would be in school, and then I remember one time we were watching a movie, and out of nowhere, I just, like, burst out into tears. I was probably in third grade. Burst out into tears, just crying, and I don't even really know why I was crying. But what I can tell you, I think it was a scene in there, and like the dad had, like, died or went away or something, and it triggered me. It triggered me without even thinking about it, because all I could think of, like, where's my dad? Like, where's my dad at? Why isn't he here? And that was in the third grade. And even to this point, like, it's still something that, like, I always wonder, like, how it would have been, how, like, what difference would it have made in my life. And like, when I think about the times of growing up, like, I didn't have, like, when I would play around, and as a kid you fall down and you get hurt, and your dad would pick you up and dust you off and tell you everything's good. Like, I never had that. I never had that, like, in my life, and like, I don't know what it felt like, because I had to pick up myself and dust my own self off, or my brothers to help me get up. And like, I didn't have that assurance, like, oh, everything's going to be okay. And it really kind of shook me to my core when I think about it. Like, there's a lot of uncertainty, and like, wondering, like, what life would be like without him, or with him in my life. And it was just different and hard. Like, you will never know how it was, and unless you've been through something like this, and I have. um and like, growing up, like, it just, it cost me a lot. Like, it cost me, like, my thoughts of, like, what it would be like. I always envied other people when I would go to their house or see them out, and I see them, like, walking, holding hands with their parents, and knowing that I couldn't do that. like I didn't get the chance to even do that. And it just brought up so many emotions in me that I couldn't understand. And I'm somebody that doesn't like to talk about like my emotions a lot. I feel like that is something like just growing up and without a father in my life, growing up without my mother in my life, um, like I had to mature a lot quicker than a lot of other kids did, and it's a reason why I like suppressed my feelings and stuff because I really felt that I had no one that I could really go to that would understand, you know, besides my brothers. And I didn't really talk to them about my emotions either, so it's like I pinned them down. I just pinned them down. And um, a way that I really got through those difficult times of thinking about my dad and what it would be like and stuff like that, and where we were wondering where he was or why did he come and like see us and stuff like that when he was alive, is when I was probably around like a young teenage, 13 or 14. Like my grandpa got me into weight training, and like I remember being in the living room floor, and he would take us through some exercises. We would do had like some dumbbells, and we'd do like floor presses and like bicep curls and all that stuff. And that's really how I was able to cope with my father really not being in the house, because just through that fitness and stuff, it was like a getaway for me. It allowed me to take my emotions out, my feelings out. I could take them out on my frustrations out. I could take them out on the weight. And anytime I felt like I was alone, or anytime I felt like an uneasy feeling, like an absence in my body, in my mind, and where only like a father could fill that void, like I would just go work out. It was like therapy for me. It was like therapy, and in doing so, like I built so much discipline. I built so much discipline, and I was able to regulate my emotions just by working out. Like, when you get into fitness, you have to be dedicated, and if you want to see results, like it takes discipline in how you eat and stuff like that. And once I start seeing my body change, that's really when I became more focused and more disciplined, and it allowed me to like kind of build that tough exterior shell, because like I was a shy kid growing up, and I wasn't really confident like that. So when I got into fitness and like my body began to change, it built confidence in me. It built that confidence, and I've kept that same confidence for now. I'm 35, and I started when I was like 14, right? 13, 14 years old. And that just instilled my confidence. I think that's the reason why I'm still in love with training, because I fell in love with it then, because it was an emotional outlet for me when I was going through those times without my dad and without my mom. Like, and I could very well have fallen into like so many different addictions and stuff like that. And granted, like I did, like I did fall into like pornography for a little bit. Like when you don't have like a father in the house to really guide you in certain things like that, it's so easy to like slip off the tracks for a little bit. Like you don't get, like as a father, I would give my son the sex talk when it would come up when he's of age. I would give that to him. I never got that. Like my grandpa told me a little bit about it, but it's not like a father-son relationship and him telling you. Like I never got that, so I had to find out on my own. Like learn from like my brothers, and then like all of a sudden, like you find a porn website or whatever, and you're hooked. And that's what happened to me. Like I got hooked for a long time, and that very well could have changed if I had somebody there constantly with me, watching what I was doing, and like guided me and telling me like, hey, like be careful when you start dating somebody and all this other stuff. Other than that, I just had to find out for myself. Um, so yeah, I didn't get those moments as a father, or from my father, rather. So it was very difficult to like navigate through those times. And a lot of this stuff, like a lot of this stuff, really didn't hit me until I became a father of my now two children. Like when I first became a father, like I'm like I didn't have any guidance. I didn't know what to do. I had like it's like everything was new to me. My brothers were dads before I was, but I didn't really learn a lot from them. Like that's something you don't experience until you get in there. And I didn't have like my father to look up to because he wasn't there. So it's like I had to learn all that on my own. And like I did a lot of things wrong. I mean that it's just learning as a new parent, but it'd been really nice to have that guidance and that assurance there. And even like my grandpa died before I was 22, so he didn't even get to see like my children. My my grandpa didn't, my grandma didn't, one of my aunts didn't, my mom or my dad didn't. And that just left it still is a huge hole because it's like what could have been, you know? What could have been. But I knew that I needed um, I needed to change. Even though I didn't have that guidance from my dad, I knew I had to be different. Like it was time for me to step up as a father, and luckily I built that discipline through my fitness and my faith in God. My faith in God is what really allowed me to be able to be the best dad I could possibly be, and me developing that discipline through fitness is what allowed me to be such a great father to like my two children. Like and now I'm still getting along with my fitness. I'm still improving every week and still challenging myself, my bodies in ways um, that that could push the limit. Like I want to push the limit. I want to be as healthy and as fit and as strong as I can be as a dad because I know my kids look up to me, and my job is to be the best father I can be. So if I was not taking care of my health and doing eating whatever I want and drinking and doing all this stuff, my kids are gonna look up to me and see that, and then years down the road they're gonna be doing the same thing. Not gonna have any discipline. They're gonna be running wild, doing no structure. They're gonna be doing whatever they want to do. That's why I go as hard as I go. That's why I train as much as I train. That's why I'm pretty strict in what I'm eating. But also, I can still eat whatever I want because over the years that I've built my body, it's allowed me to be able to eat whatever I want because I know how to manipulate my calories because I've done this for years. So they see me training. They see me eating. They see me cook my chicken, prep my food. They see me do push-ups every morning. And now my son, whenever I do them in the morning, whenever he's up, he does them with me. He wants to do them with me. And that didn't come from me just telling him I do push-ups. That it was coming from him seeing me do push-ups every single morning. Every single morning. And now I'm setting an example for him. So when he knows when I wake up in the morning, it's time to hit those push-ups right away. Right away. And that's what he's gonna do. He's learning that on his own. Because now he comes up to me and is like, hey, we're gonna do those push-ups. So right there, it lets me know that I am setting the example for him. I am setting the standard for him. And that is my job. And your job as a father is to set the standard. So you have to decide if your standard is you're gonna watch out for your health, you're gonna take care of your body, you're gonna work out, you're gonna eat good, so you can in turn be the absolute best father you can be, not only for your kids but for your family. Or you're gonna do the exact opposite. You're gonna eat whatever you want to eat, never train, run wild, have no structure, and then hope your kids have this some kind of structure that you're not showing them. Like they're gonna grow up exactly like you. They're gonna grow up exactly like you. So if you had no father growing up, like I had no father growing up, then you need to be the person that changes that. You need to be the new chain in the link. You need to be the healthiest version that you can be, so you can be the best father that you can be, even though you didn't get it from your father. I didn't get none of that from my father. I didn't get no structure, no training, no nutrition tips, none of that. And look at me now. I'm developed personally. I'm developed emotionally. I'm developed. Um, like physically, my body's fit. Like I have a good relationship with God. So my kids are gonna have all that I do because I'm gonna instill that into them. I'm the new link in the chain. I'm becoming the example. You need to become the example. Okay? Get yourself a routine. Follow that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and watch your kids look up to you. Watch your kids want to work out with you. Watch them want to eat with you. Okay? You're going to change the game. But it starts with you. You have to become the example. Because you know what? Your life is counting on it. Your kids' lives are counting on it. You can't use that excuse that you don't have a father anymore. Because I grew up without my dad and my mom and my grandma and my grandpa. So if I can do it, so can you. So this is the last, and this is the reason why I believe that a lot of people stay stuck. A lot of fathers, they stay stuck. They have no structure, no standard. Their their energy is low because they're going to work constantly, coming back. They're giving everything they have at work, and then they have no energy to really do anything other than sit down and relax. And then each day it goes like that. Each day your kids want you to play with them. Like you ain't got the energy to do it because you're not prioritizing your health. And if you want to be the example, that's exactly what you have to do. Like oftentimes I wake up, most of the times of the week I wake up at 5. And I go through my morning routine, get a workout in, and then I go into, I'll get my food prepped, and then I go in to get my son ready and take him to school. So that's what you need to do. You need to develop yourself a consistent morning routine. I promise you, promise you, promise you. If you do that, like your whole life is going to change. I promise you. Get yourself a good morning routine because that's going to get your day going. You're going to have more energy, especially if you work out, you get a good meal in. Like it's going to make your day so much more productive. And then your kid's going to eventually catch on and he's going to be like, Dad, can I work out with you? And then just think of that. Like instead of passing on like obesity and stuff in your family, you'll be passing on strong genetics, strong health, a discipline. Like you're passing all that on to your kids and they're going to grow up the same way. So remember that you are the example. Okay, your kids are ultimately going to look at you, and then that's going to set the standards for them. And one thing I want to leave you with, my kids will never, ever wonder if their dad was there. They'll never, ever wonder if their dad was there. You know why? Because I'm there. I'm there walking it out every single day. I'm there being present every single day. I'm there telling my kids I love them every single day. That's something that I never got. And I grew up in my household. I grew up with my grandparents, and that is something that we really never really talked about. Like we never said like I love you and stuff like that. We just did something that we knew, right? We knew it without saying it. and then I get married and go into my wife's family, and all they say is "I love you" and hugs and kisses and all that. I never got that. I never got that growing up ever. But I did not let that stop me from doing that to my kids. I let my kids know for sure every single day that I love them and hug them and kiss on them, because that is what I wanted when I was a child. I wanted it. I craved that. I never got it. And it's not to say, oh, it's like my grandparents' fault and stuff like that. No, like it was just a different era. They're older, and so they're trying to take care of their health and do whatever they need to do. I mean, they have kids themselves. They're my grandparents. They're not my parents. So, and I don't know if that's just growing up in a like a black person household. Like if you don't throw the love word out there a lot. But my family, we didn't. But I for sure in my own family do throw it out there every single day, because that's something I wanted when I was his age. My son's 4. And that's something that I wanted at his age and I never got. So I'm doing everything for my kids that my father did for me. And I'm going to set that example that I didn't get, but he's going to get. He's going to look at me and know what the standard is. And he's going to go on and grow up and be a father to his kids. And he's going to set the same example I set for him. And so on and so forth. So, that's what it is. Be the example for your kids. And one last thing. If you grew up without a father and you're choosing to be different, like you want to be different, you grew up without your dad, and you are ready to make a change, then you need to subscribe to this channel. You're going to subscribe to this channel, like pay attention, watch my videos, go on my Instagram, Estismite, that's my Instagram, go on there, because every day I'm going to be dropping content and value and show you that you can do this. Even though you didn't have a father in your life, you can do this. You can be the example for your kids now. And that's my goal, is to be the example for my kids. And I want to show other people around the world that not having a father in their life is not an excuse of why they can't be a great father for themselves. That's my goal. That's my purpose. Like a lot of times I didn't think my story had any meaning, like any purpose, and like I just wasn't thinking clear. Like, but now I like when I talk about and talk to other people about like the people they lost. Like a lot of them lose their parents at an older age. Like I lost both of my parents before 10, and lost my 2 caretakers. I lost my grandma at like 13 or 12, and then my grandpa by 21. 4 main people that had a hand in raising me. And everybody that I talk to hasn't been through that much pain. But I have. So I'm very unique. But I want to show other fathers out there that you can still do this. You can still be the man, that father that you want to be. You can still be the best father for your kids, for your family possible. Even if you didn't have that person, you didn't have that dad watching and caring for you, and he wasn't there, you can still do this. You can still do this. So, again, like this video, share this video to whoever you know that hasn't had a father in their life, because that's not going to stop them from being the best father that they can be. So, please subscribe, because we're building something that YouTube's never seen. So, have a good day.